Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. The term Empress Dowager, also known as Huang Taihu in Chinese, first appeared during the Warring States period in China. The Empress Dowager was the emperor's mother and held an extremely prestigious position. After assisting her son in ascending the throne, a successful Empress Dowager would retire to the depths of the palace and live a comfortable and privileged retired life. Some Empress Dowagers even had powers equal to the emperor, commanding respect even from the ruler himself. However, not all Empress Dowagers lived a life of glory, wealth, and respect. During the late Qing dynasty, there were two powerful Empress Dowagers. One was Empress Dowager Cixi, and the other was Empress Dowager Longyu. Although the Qing dynasty faced internal and external challenges during Empress Dowager Cixi's reign, it had not reached its downfall. Empress Dowager Cixi continued to enjoy the pleasures that came with wielding supreme power, ruling with an iron fist, and ultimately passed away with a tarnished reputation. On the other hand, Empress Dowager Longyu's tragic fate was sealed from the moment she entered the palace. As the last Empress Dowager of the Qing dynasty, Empress Dowager Longyu is often portrayed in historical records as a foolish and jealous woman. However, the real Empress Dowager Longyu was not only knowledgeable and gentle but also had a broad perspective, understanding the importance of state affairs. Despite her qualities, she could not escape the tragic life that awaited her after her marriage. Longyu, of the Yehe Nara clan, belonged to the Manchu Yellow Banner. She was Empress Dowager Cixi's niece and the paternal cousin of her husband, Emperor Guangxu. Despite her average appearance and even being considered somewhat ugly, with a pale complexion, tall and thin figure, and a slight hunch, she always appeared melancholic. However, she was kind-hearted and never acted superior or domineering because of her position as empress. This trait was truly commendable. To control Emperor Guangxu's movements, Empress Dowager Cixi decided to arrange a marriage between her niece, Yehe Nara, and Emperor Guangxu as the empress. The wedding was scheduled for the 27th day of the first month in the 15th year of Guangxu's reign, 1889. However, something unexpected happened before the wedding. On the 15th day of the 12th month in the 14th year of Guangxu's reign, 1888, on a cold winter night in the 12th lunar month, a fierce fire broke out in the Forbidden City, destroying the Hall of Supreme Harmony, which was the second ceremonial gate that the empress had to pass through to enter her marital home. Facing such an incident before her marriage, it was undoubtedly inauspicious in the eyes of Empress Dowager Cixi. However, with the wedding date fast approaching, there was not enough time to wait for the restoration of the Hall of Supreme Harmony. Changing the wedding date was also not an option. In such a situation, Empress Dowager Cixi made a decisive decision. She ordered the Imperial Household Department to work day and night to repair the Hall of Supreme Harmony. They quickly gathered a large amount of paper, nails, and artisans skilled in decorative work. They worked tirelessly and eventually constructed a replica of the Hall of Supreme Harmony that was difficult to distinguish from the original. The wedding proceeded as scheduled. At the third quarter of noon, the empress, adorned with a pearl crown and dressed in phoenix robes, was carried into the palace. At the same time, Consort Jean and Consort Zhen were also escorted into the palace through the Divine Martial Gate. Due to Empress Dowager Longyu's plain appearance and lack of eloquence, as well as being a few years older than Emperor Guangxu, he did not like her. Consort Zhen, who entered the palace at the same time as Empress Dowager Longyu, had a beautiful face and was younger in age, receiving Emperor Guangxu's favor exclusively. Taking advantage of Emperor Guangxu's love, Consort Zhen acted recklessly within the palace. Not only did she make Emperor Guangxu remove his dragon robe and put it on her, but she even engaged in the buying and selling of official positions. When Empress Dowager Cixi learned about these actions, she became furious. She immediately demoted Consort Zhen to a lower rank, and as the empress held the highest position among the consorts, she naturally had to punish Consort Zhen. Thus, she confined Consort Zhen in a prison in the western part of the palace, preventing Emperor Guangxu from seeing her. Emperor Guangxu believed that Empress Dowager Longyu was the one who reported these actions to Empress Dowager Cixi out of jealousy towards consort Chen's favor. Combined with Emperor Guangxu's pre-existing dislike for Empress Dowager Longyu, his animosity towards her grew stronger. He not only spoke harshly to her but also physically struck her. Despite being deeply saddened, Empress Dowager Longyu still advised him to prioritize state affairs. In the 26th year of Emperor Guangxu's reign, 1900, the Eight-Nation Alliance invaded Beijing, and Empress Dowager Cixi, Emperor Guangxu, Empress Dowager Longyu, and other members of the imperial family fled to Xi'an. However, before their escape, Empress Dowager Cixi did something that deeply grieved Emperor Guangxu. She forced consort Chen to commit suicide by jumping into a well. After consort Chen's death, Empress Dowager Longyu did not receive Emperor Guangxu's favor. In this marriage, she only experienced indifference and contempt. In the 34th year of Emperor Guangxu's reign, 1908, Emperor Guangxu passed away in the Han Yuan Hall in the Southern Sea. According to Empress Dowager Cixi's testament, Puyi was to ascend the throne, and Empress Dowager Longyu was honored as Empress Dowager Longyu. However, Puyi was only 3 years old at the time and too young to govern the country. Therefore, Empress Dowager Longyu assumed the role of regent, while Prince Chun assisted in governing the country. The three of them jointly supported the crumbling late Qing dynasty amidst storms and turmoil. After assuming the regency, Empress Dowager Longyu, in order to prevent Zaifeng from acquiring excessive power, had to start winning over some ministers. At that time, Zaifeng had consulted Empress Dowager Longyu about nominating Na Tong as the Minister of War. However, in order to suppress his power, Empress Dowager Longyu promoted Su Shichang, a sworn brother of Yuan Shikai, to the position. Zaifeng was furious and warned Empress Dowager Longyu that unless it was a major government affair, there was no need to bother her with such insignificant appointments. Empress Dowager Longyu understood that Zaifeng meant for her to stop meddling in politics. Since she didn't have any real power to begin with, she completely lost control over the court and could only focus on raising Puyi. In the third year of the Xiantong era, 1911, the Xinhai Revolution broke out. Zaifeng resigned, and Empress Dowager Longyu became the highest ruler of the Qing dynasty. Although Empress Dowager Longyu, like Empress Dowager Cixi, held the regency, she did not monopolize power. While her political achievements were not as numerous as her aunt's, her vision was still acceptable. In the turbulent situation of internal and external troubles, she did not adhere to old-fashioned thinking but made the bold decision to abdicate the throne, which played an important role in promoting the future republican system in China. On the 22nd of February, in the third year of the Xiantong era, 1912, Empress Dowager Longyu signed the Edict of Imperial Abdication, marking the end of the Qing dynasty. From then on, Empress Dowager Longyu regarded herself as a sinner of the Aisin-Zhorou family. Already melancholic and joyless, the blow she suffered worsened her condition, and she passed away on February 22, 1913. If Empress Dowager Longyu had not married Guangxu and had not entered the depths of the palace, perhaps as a member of the imperial family, her life would have had infinite possibilities. But fate pushed her into this unfathomable imperial palace, where she did not receive Emperor Guangxu's favor and was not favored by the imperial relatives. She lived in poverty, to the extent that she didn't even have money to reward her servants. From Empress to Empress Dowager, it sounds like a noble position, but she never truly enjoyed a day of true nobility. Perhaps from the incident with the Hall of Supreme Harmony, it was an indication that this marriage was destined to fail. No matter how it was restored, it was ultimately a case of being beautiful on the surface but tattered inside. This is History and Culture channel. Like and subscribe are the biggest help and support for us. Thank you everyone. See you next time.